Hi everyone, my name is Patricia and I'm with Tarot Crystal Love. That is what I'm calling this channel. It's my first video and I thought that I would just come to you today and talk about the Sakki-Sakki Tarot. So this is the book that I got along with it. It could be called Sakki-Sakki Tarot, but I love Shakti, so I figure it's probably Sakki-Sakki. I'm going to call it that. And so I got it for a really great deal. I found it for $7. Some lady was selling it, and it's it's a version that's only got 3,000 printed. It's our first edition. It's signed. The book is signed as well, to shuffle your possibilities and let your artist play. That's really cute. And I didn't really resonate with this deck when I first saw it. I was like, meh. She was asking for $10, and it just happened to be I was picking something else up, and I was asking if she had any metaphysical books, and she did. She had just this and some yoga cards or something, and I picked it up, and like I said, I didn't resonate with the 3 cards that I look for, which is Strength. I liked the Strength card, actually. That's the reason I took the deck, was because of that, and also because this seems like a rare and unique deck, and I'm an artist, and I thought, because the whole point of this book is to awaken your artist within, basically, or honor it, and I really felt that maybe my artist needs some of these cards. So I'll show you what I got. So that came with the big book. It also comes with a little white book. This book is pretty great. It's pretty rich. It tells you all about the different things in it. Like the Wheel of Fortune is not just the Wheel of Fortune. It also has personal reflections, inner reading, astrological associations, Kabbalistic associations, which I don't know anything about the Kabbalah, so it's always something I've always wanted to get into. And like, here's more of what this is. So it's pretty deep. Each page, each card has 2.5 pages almost. 2.5 to 3 pages actually, and yeah, it looks pretty rich. I really love that. And yeah, and also I got it came in a little bag. So if you can see, this is actually the Judgment card, but they call it the Angel card. It's got the little trumpets. I love it. It's pretty cool. This bag is pretty amazing. So then I'll open it up and show you the box that it came in. I'm going to do a separate tutorial, or not a tutorial, a separate video. I'm a little nervous because first time on camera for this tarot thing. I'll just say I created this channel because I love tarot cards, and I love them, all the decks, and I have oracle cards, and I have about 70 decks right now. 70, and maybe a little bit more. Maybe not. I sold a few decks that just I didn't resonate with anymore. And I love crystals. I have thousands of crystals in my room. I don't even know how I sleep at night. Mostly I don't. And I have grids all over my room. I have a tarot card grid. I have an abundance currently. They always change. I change them up at least every new moon and full moon. But I have like a grid just for meditating. I have another grid for tarot cards. I have an abundance grid. Right now I also have a grid for the full moon, to soothe the energies because they're pretty brutal. I have a fairy garden grid, and I have just everything everywhere, and I just love it. It makes me feel great. I'm 40 years old, and most people, they talk about when women get 40, when women are 40, they turn into crazy cat ladies. Well, I'm the crazy crystal lady. Crazy crystal lady. So I'll show you the box that it comes in. The box is pretty flimsy. This is the box. I don't like this. This feels like a loose tooth, and it's going to break and fall apart at any moment. So I don't think I'll keep the box, but I'm probably going to use it out of, show you closer up. That's the back side, and it says on the side here, the first edition, limited to 3,000 copies. It's quite beautiful inside the deck. Inside the box is the artist that has signed it. I had to take the cards out because they would just fall out of this box. They don't hold anything. And then a little about the artist in here. So it's a cute box, but again, loose tooth. Hi. Okay. It comes with a little white book. The little white book is pretty thin. There's not much information, so if there's like maybe a third of a page about each major arcana, and if you look at, like, say, the Suit of Cups, you can see it's just a little blurb about each one. I guess that's so that she could elaborate more in the bigger book and keep it more condensed. I like that, you know, the little white book has a lot of, like this one, she's got a little blurb about the Kabbalah. I haven't gone through the bigger book yet, so I don't know how much detail she goes into this. I have no idea about the Kabbalah. Even this little blip about it didn't really explain much for me. It talks about numbers 1 through 9, which seems like numerology to me, and I don't really quite grasp the difference yet, but something I'm willing to learn and look into. It's got a page about all the different numbers and the Kabbalah kingdoms, I guess, that go along with it. I'm not sure. The planets, it's got all the different planets here, so just a little blurb up about each one, because each card has a planet, sorry, each minor arcana has a planet and a zodiac sign. So here's also the little write-up about the zodiac signs, and then the major arcanas have mostly planets on them, but not, I think, I don't know, I'll have to look into that. It also talks about the court cards. It gives you some simple readings. You know, the 3-card spread tells you if you already want to do other readings like the Celtic Cross, then go look at other books, which is cool. It doesn't repeat itself. And I like this path, the artist's path spread, and it's pretty cool. I'm going to try that one out today for myself, this reading. Maybe, actually, I'm feeling not so energetic. So I love that this little book is pretty informative, but it's also very concise and to the point, unlike myself. Okay, the first, so it's 80 cards are in this deck, and I had them all in order yesterday, but then I did a reading last night. But there's 80 cards in this deck. The backs of the cards are quite lovely. I'll show you the backs of the cards. Isn't that nice? It's like this bluish yellow. It looks a little green because I guess the lighting or whatever, but that's the color there. They're really nice. I like it. And I like that yellow-blue color. It really speaks to me in the sense that it just makes me feel happy, you know. And I really like decks that make me feel happy. I also have decks specifically for shadow work, like the Deviant Moon, the borderless edition I got, and I love that. And I have some, some oracle cards also that I just love. Lucy Cavendish, she created like a bunch of darker, I don't know, anime type decks. I can't recall, like Shadow of the Oracle or something like that. I have a ton of those decks, which speak to my shadow side a little bit more. So I'll show you the Sakki-Sakki. This is the first card that's in there. It's just not a throwaway, but you know, it's not in part of the deck. What I like is it's a reference card, so it's not just a throwaway card, it's an actual useful card. It gives you the different planets and the zodiac signs and what they look like and what they mean. It's for quick reference, which is great because I'm not fully up on my planets, and even zodiac signs, I know all about them, but I don't really know a lot. I mean, I know my own and I know a couple of other ones, but there's some where like Virgo and Aquarius and Pisces, I didn't know that that's what the symbol was for those ones. So this is a great little reference card. And then I'm going to go through this more in detail at some other time, but I just wanted to quickly run through what these look like and how awesome they are. Look at this card. I love this card, and I'll talk about later why I love it, but it's pretty great. Like, the details are very rich. She has a lot of these headless people in there, so you can kind of determine what that means for yourself. For me, I feel like it's a disconnect. Like I'm not completely whole whenever I pull up one of these cards. But a lot of the minor arcana I'm noticing has a lot of headless people. Here's another one too. It's the Five of Rods. So I thought it was just one suit that had it, and I thought that's a really great idea, you know. But then, you know, you look at the Five of Rods, which has no head, and then you look at the Six of Rods, and there's a head. So it feels, and there's a bunch of people in the background that are all shadow people without little heads on it, and so it makes me feel like, you know, first of all, I'm walking a psychedelic red carpet, and who wouldn't want to walk that red carpet? And also that these headless people are like pointing the way, and I'm like, yeah, no, I got my head on. You guys don't have a head, and I'm gonna go my own way. That song comes into my head. You can go your own way. Yeah, this is that card to that song. So I just love it. It's super empowering. The Hanged Man is another one that kind of caught my eye. Like, look at how cute it is. It's very court jestery. If anybody's ever tried DMT, it reminds me of a DMT journey that I definitely had, or ayahuasca, similar kind of characters that you see under the influence of those kinds of medicines. And I love that he's hanging upside down, but he doesn't look like he's being hung by anybody but himself. He's the one who's latching his foot on there. And I love that he's upside down, but it looks like he's just in Bizarro land. He's seeing things from a different point of view. And I love that because it feels very positive, uplifting. And like I said, I love tarot cards that do that. The Happy Tarot is my favorite tarot for working on the joyful aspects in my inner child, and I love it. Mostly I have bipolar disorder, and I go through months of depressive episodes where I just cannot get out of bed. And I just recently went past, I'm gonna say past, it's like passing a depression stone, you know. You're like, oh, you're in agony for months. And so I passed a depression stone, and it took me like 4 months. And that tarot, the Happy Tarot, and this one now, I just received it, so I didn't have this during that episode, will help to bring a little color back into my life, to remind me that things are not as serious as my brain tells me that they are. And so these are instrumental in my road to wellness. When I just can't even get out of bed, I will play with these cards, and I'll be thinking, this is bullshit. Tarot's bullshit. I don't think that in real life, but when I'm under the influence of depression and these bipolar episodes, I definitely think that nothing matters and that there's no point to anything. And so these cards, even though I'm thinking this is bullshit, they bring back some joy into my life. They make me just at least smile, or at least go, oh, look, that's kind of cool. Or, you know, it just helps to shift a tiny bit of my perception to bring some joy into my life during those times. And I believe that this deck will do that as well. This one, look at this death card. Are you kidding me? Like, it's not even making fun of death. It's like, it's just cute. She made death look cute. And I love that. I don't know. Like, it just, if anybody's, there's also this video game that I just love called The Guild of Dungeoneers. It's on Steam, and I used to play that game all the time, and this reminds me of the same kind of art. This particular photo reminds me of that art, and it just makes me laugh. It doesn't make me feel depressed or sad, or, you know, like it's negative. It kind of feels like, you know, his horse has glasses on. Like, that's hilarious to me. So there's a lot of like really cool cards, like the devil here. Looks like he's just dancing. He looks non-threatening. There's, I'll just go through some of these cards here. It's hard to see which ones I've got here. They're very cool though, and I'll be going through more of them in a different, the Magician. That's pretty cool. But the cards that I mostly look for, that I really love, is the Moon, and the Sun's pretty great. The Moon, I didn't really like that card in this deck, which is one of the reasons I was like, maybe I shouldn't get this. Here's a good one. The Sun. The Sun is just, look at that. It's just cute. How can you not turn your frown upside down after seeing this card? It's beautiful. I love it. And the Two of Swords is pretty amazing. This is one of my favorite minor arcana cards at this point. I just love the little shoes on the bottom here. If you look like here and here, and they're going in both different directions, and it's like, oh, I felt like that in my life, you know, where I just can't move because I'm going for two things at the same time, and it's energetically, it's killing me. You know, it's really downing a lot of time. So here's the Moon card. It's visually beautiful ish. It's very cartoony, but it just, I don't know. I don't feel like it tells me much when I pulled it. Maybe I need to work with it a little bit more, but just the couple of times, usually I can tell. I'm like, oh yeah, this is my deck, because the Moon, but this Moon, not so much. So I will say that about this. This deck, I forgot to say, is 80 cards, 79. It's a 79 card deck. There's that 80th card, which is just the pop-out card to tell you about the planets and that. But the 79th card, so it's just, it follows the Rider-Waite-Smith, you know, major arcana, minor arcana situation. And it's got the 79th card, which is called the Artist. And I love this card. And so it could be used as just like, I forget what they call it, like the thing that you just put beside it. It starts with an S. My brain isn't working. Anyways, you can just put it beside to remind you of who you are and like what's going on when you're doing this. Or you can put in the deck. I always put it in the deck. I love this card, and it's just, I definitely find it adds super value to the readings. I have the most incredible readings with this deck, and yeah, I love this card. It reminds me of the Matrix, but just in pink, and it kind of brings you in. I love it. Like, all the world's a stage, and it's up to you on what you're going to create, and that's what I feel from this card, and I love it. And so there's of course I can't find the ones that I'm looking for. Strength. This is my favorite card in the deck by far. It's gorgeous. It's very similar to other strength cards. I just find usually in other cards the lion is more tame, and I like that the beautiful princess is taming the lion in this one. He looks all ornery, and she's just like, there, shh. And I love that balance between you know, the anger and the calm, the beautiful nurturing, and kind of the wild beast. I love this one in this deck. It's gorgeous. And then there's one more that I just, well, these are really cute too. These remind me of the Happy Tarot very much. It looks like ice cream, but actually if you look deeper, they're bugs and crowns and weird stuff, but it does from a distance look like ice cream, and plus all that yellow. And I love the yellow and orange cards. They're very catchy. And this one is, it's like tea and crumpets, something like that. It's a 6 of Cups. It's just cute. And then the last one, the Knight of Cups. I love the Knight of Cups. Like, I mean, he's riding a unicorn. Give me a break. It's so, this whole deck is very psychedelic, and I very much appreciate that as I work with a lot of psychedelic medicines to help ease my depression. And these are a lot, and I also have something called synesthesia, which is where I can taste colors and you know, see music in my brain. And so most of my waking life looks a lot like this kind of stuff. And so I really appreciate it when an artist can bring my inner world to life on paper or on cards. And yeah, and this card keeps coming out for me. Every reading so far that I've had has been the Angel. This is also what's on, you know, the little baggie that it came in. And this is I think this is the only major arcana that they've changed the name of it from Judgment to the Angel. And I love that this is called the Angel, and that there's a couple people without heads dancing around, and it is celebratory. It also is pretty, like, indicative of what happens when you don't have a brain, when you don't have your head on. And I'm definitely a thinking person, and so I feel like, you know, I can dance more when I'm not thinking. I can be more celebratory when I'm not thinking. So this is the deck for now, this is a long video, I'm going to stop it now and just say thanks for watching, and I will do a walkthrough on this video very shortly. Okay.